In this video, we will take a look at what it is like to be locked down on a tiny paradise island in the Maldives with no guest for 8 months. But before we go, hello and welcome to Wet Souls. My name is Nick. On this channel, we do videos for people that love scuba diving, the underwater world, and if that's your thing, you know what to do. And now let's rewind. In 2019, I was actually in quite a comfortable place work-wise as a scuba instructor, but I felt I needed a challenge, so I had a chat to my fellow scuba instructor friends who had worked there before, and I chose to move to a different country. I chose the Maldives because they're a scuba diving mecca and they used to pay you well.
But mainly, I wanted a place where I'd be surrounded by water 24/7.
You all know what happened afterwards.
Characterized as a pandemic.
I spent most of 2020 in lockdown on a tiny paradise island in the Maldives with about 200 other staff and no guests. I received a lot of questions about this experience. So this is why I want to make this video and answer some of these questions. And since 2020 has been a very shitty year for everyone, I want to see if I can find some positive aspects to it as well. So I know what you're thinking because I heard it all the time. Oh, a lockdown in the Maldives? Well, that must have been bloody amazing. Lucky you. We've been locked down in a tiny flat with 3 kids and 2 dogs for weeks and couldn't go out. And yes, it was an incredible experience, but the grass always looks green on the other side. And there has been a few times where if I could have, I would have happily swapped with you.
Wow.
But now let's cut to the chase and let's answer a few of these questions. How big was the island you were living on? It was tiny. If you know the Maldives, you know that all islands there are extremely small. Ours was about 300 times 300 meters. You'd need 6 to 7 minutes to walk around the perimeter. If you wanted a longer walk, you could include the jetties. I measured the total perimeter, including jetties, and it came to about 1.1 kilometers. Was it difficult to live in such a tiny place? Yes and no. Yes, because obviously the situation was very uncertain. We were in lockdown. You're worrying about your family, your friends, you're worrying about your job. You don't know what the future brings. Living the space itself wasn't actually difficult because you get used to the spaces very fast, and as long as you have a routine, it doesn't matter whether you live on a tiny island or in a city. So actually maybe space, or rather the perception of it, is really relative. Does that make sense? What did you eat? You cannot be a spoiled eater because you can't just go and get whatever you want from a shop or a restaurant, but we've been fed nicely 3 times a day. Shout out to the whole kitchen team, thanks guys. And the Maldives are an Asian country, so predominantly Asian food. We'd get Maldivian, Indian, Sri Lankan, Thai, Filipino, but there would always be something that would actually cater to the more European stomachs as well, or palates, such as pizza, burger or pasta. What if you got sick? Every island has a doctor. Shout out to the doc.
That's the doc's clinic.
You can go there for minor injuries or small problems. If things are a little more serious, they'll probably take you to a local island where there are some daycare centers or hospitals. And if you need serious medical treatment, they'll take you to Malé, which is the capital. And by the way, we never had a single case of COVID on our island, and that has been due to the very thorough work of security, because everyone who would come onto the island had to be quarantined for 2 weeks, and after that have a negative PCR test before they would actually be released into the community again. How about doing sport? We had 2 very well-staffed gyms and the chance of going running freely on the island.
That's the tennis court.
Nice one!
There's been some quite amazing badminton games going on here. Nice place.
Besides that, it's an island, of course. You put your swimming trunks on, you can jump in, go for a swim, go for a snorkel, go for a dive, and we did plenty of that.
Really nice spot for diving just over there.
Did you have a routine? Of course we did have a routine, and it is very important to have one in a situation like that. We'd wake up at 7 in the morning, start work at 9, from 7 until 9, typically do about half an hour meditation. After that, some gym, breakfast, start work until 12 o'clock, have 2 hours of break, restart at 2 p.m, work until 5 to 6 p.m, depending on the day. After that, typically go for a snorkel with Charlie, and then in the evening, have dinner, hang out with your friends, play some cards. If you didn't want to do that, just stay in your room, read a book or edit some video. What work did you do? So you might think this was a big holiday when in fact we've actually been very busy. All of the departments, kitchen, F&B, housekeeping, security, IT, engineering, HR, spa, accounting, management, the scuba divers, we all had to carry out tasks within our own department, but we also had to do cross-department work.
There's been a lot of work. I mean, whoever comes here will have a lot of really nice facilities. There's been so much work going into this place, you wouldn't believe it. And we all worked. I mean, the whole team worked. Everybody. All the furniture that you see here, it's all been stripped, repainted. The jetties have been redone. Sea walls were built. The place was cleaned and done up. I mean, it takes a lot of work.
No guest on the island actually meant that was the chance of doing a lot of maintenance work, and all departments got busy helping engineering with refurbishing work, from laying internet cables to painting fences, re-roofing, carpentry, gardening. There's always been something to do. And let's actually not forget all the training that we've done to prepare ourselves to get ready to welcome guests within the new normal. Is it annoying to always be surrounded by the same people? If I would be in a lockdown with the colleagues from my office for a year, I would go crazy. I'm very grateful I met some amazing people that I can call friends, and it would have been impossible to go through these months without their support. But I'm also grateful for everyone that was on that island, even the people I never said hi to or had the chance to say hi to. Because at the end of the day, we have been in such an unparalleled situation, and I feel that we shared something very unique. We'll probably look back to this in the future, in a few years, and realize what an incredible time it has been. What were the difficult things? In hindsight, there is 3 things I want to mention I found difficult. Number 1, the fact that we were in lockdown. So obviously the uncertainty about the whole situation globally. You worry about your family, you worry about your friends, you worry about your job. You don't know what's happening. That puts pressure on you. Secondly, the food in April was very difficult. We had hardly any vegetables at all, and we had lots of rice and fried chicken skins, which are not bad, but day in and day out, that wasn't so easy. Another thing that irritated me a bit was that some of the guys on my floor, shout out to the guys on my floor, Cola Bros, were actually quite loud sometimes with their doors, and that, it irritated me a lot. But hey, in hindsight, is all good, and there's nothing bad, there's nothing not nice to complain about. The positive things. Nature was absolutely incredible. Just waking up every morning, seeing the beauty of the place, walking behind the dive center was a routine just to see what the visibility was like.
That's an eagle ray. That's Makana. Here's the local heron. All right, Makana.
It doesn't look too bad today.
There was so many times I just had to pinch myself. It looks like a dream. I mean, it's totally beautiful. The diving, it's fantastic. And there's always the chance to see something amazing coming past. The people, without you guys, it wouldn't have been what it was. The fact that this hard time actually taught me patience and resilience. And finally, the fact that I'm sat here talking to you guys because I had the chance of investing some more time into this channel, which is something that I really like and I will keep doing in the future as well. So there's more to come, like I always say. And there is one last question. What was the ecosystem like? Passing over to the marine biology god himself, Charlie mate, I think you should take this one.
So the ecosystem in the Maldives is pretty spectacular. The Maldives is essentially coral reefs that have formed atolls by slowly building up on each other. So this means obviously they've got the lovely coral reefs, which as we know from the previous videos at the restoration project, provide a home for 25% of all known marine life, and they really pump out some good biodiversity. Next to that, you've got the really deep water, which obviously you get some of the visitors like the whale sharks and the manta rays, even thresher sharks sometimes. So you've got this really cool mixing pot where two habitats who are rich in their own rights come together. Combine that with the conditions that they have there, the super clear waters, the year-round warm temperatures, it makes it just a diving hotspot. And whether you're particularly into the environment or not, I think it's something everyone can appreciate.
Thanks, mate. Guys, this is it. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I managed to give you an idea of what these months have been like. If you liked the video, leave us a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. If you haven't yet and you like the content, subscribe so we can grow this family together. And lastly, it's been a hard year, so I'm checking out. You keep your souls wet and see you next time. Bye-bye.
This is a very special place to me. Right there.